Duval County, and I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies, where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, a Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now with the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the West Coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do.
Thank you for giving us a voice.
For being out there helping to keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for your support for veterans in the military. Educating us. Standing up for conservatism. Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, everybody. So glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele. Big D on the other side of the glass. Nina's in the breaking newsroom, and you hanging out with us at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. And how about this?
Holy Toledo.
Oh, it's a big day today. There's a lot going on. The markets, the president, the operation. Big D, the operation is over. You saw that, right? That was trending on X just a little while ago. As a matter of fact, I think it's trending right now. In the United States.
It's still there.
That's right. The operation is over. So what are we talking about? What operation? What does that mean? Well, we're going to have that discussion coming up. Also, everybody's got to calm down. You got to calm down. You got to stop. Well, all right, not everybody, not you, because you knew what you were getting into when you voted for Donald Trump, president of the United States. You knew what you were getting. You knew what he was talking about on the campaign trail. You knew all about the tariffs. You knew all about the External Revenue Service and all the different things that go along with it and the explanations as to how this is all going to work. And so when you see markets going down and it's like, oh, what is it, 1,200 points down and the markets are crashing, this is terrible. The banks are out of money. Hashtag banks are out of money. They're not out of money. There's an operation going on right now, and not the operation is over thing, but there's an operation going on right now where people want you to believe something is happening that is not. To get everybody all worked up and crazy to have a run on the banks when there doesn't need to be a run on the banks. Are you kidding me? I don't even know if there was a crazy run on the banks when COVID hit, when everything was going down and there was a legit crash of the markets because everything shut down. We're not even remotely in that place. And yet there are people that don't get it. Like they need an explanation. Like, I don't understand. You got to tell me more. I need an explanation as to how Trump's tariffs are going to put us in a position where we are going to be on fire. That's what the kids like to say, D. Fire. That's what, like when they're excited.
They do.
Oh, yeah, they do.
That's fire. That's what they say.
They say fire. Ooh, I watched this. That car that just drove by, that car is fire.
Yeah, that's fire. That's what they say. I don't know. It means that's awesome. That's cool.
You don't pronounce the R. It's fire. If you don't go.
I hear it both ways. The kids do whatever they want.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. I have a 16-year-old. Believe me, I know. All right, so let's get into all of this right now. Plus, in just a little while from now, Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters is going to join us because I got something I want to ask him. I had a question about Mayor Deegan there and some of what she decided not to do, but she did, but she didn't do it, but she did do it because we want to make sure that we help law enforcement, or we don't help law enforcement. But no, I'm helping law enforcement by not doing something that the people there, the city council wanted, and it's a little confusing, but hopefully we'll straighten it all out in just a little bit. All right. So like we said before,
holy Toledo,
the operation is over. The patient lived and is healing. The prognosis is that the patient will be far stronger, bigger, better, and more resilient than ever before. Make America great again. That was obviously the president of the United States, Donald Trump, on his Truth Social account. A double down message on his tariffs. You got to stop. Everything is going to be okay. I mean, I know everything is going to be okay when it comes to tariffs because I trust Chuck Schumer. I know it's hard to say that with a straight face, but I guess Chuck Schumer trusts Donald Trump. I mean, he said it in the past when it came to China and tariffs. I mean,
Look, I think the president's doing the right thing. China has been taking advantage of us for two decades. They're stealing our intellectual property, which means stealing our good-paying jobs. And I, frankly, am closer on this issue, not on many, but on this issue with President Trump than I was with Presidents Bush or Obama, because they did nothing to tell China off. Now, China, of course, will respond. But if they know we're strong and we're not going to back off, they will back off. They have far more to lose than we do. They have a $300 billion trade surplus with us.
That was in 2018. Then Chuck Schumer was talking about this, and this was being brought. Well, that seems pretty interesting, right? I mean, how about that? And one other thing, in just a little bit. Well, actually, you know what? I think I want to play this now because there's going to be a lot of discussion. We're going to have a lot of back and forth about the tariffs and if are they good or are they bad? What are we going to do? The markets are crashing. What are we going to do? We got to go run on the banks. This is not a stock market crash. We've had corrections before. People had a lot of these things baked in. And let's hear from some of the experts and some of what we can do and what we can look forward to. And not just that, but I hate to break it to people, but there are opportunities in markets like this. I mean, don't you like volatile markets? No, we don't like volatile markets. Really? Like you just want the market to go up, 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 up? Oh, yeah, that's how you make money. That's how you make money? You sure about that? Because some would say you like volatility. People get scared when everything is going down, but that is your biggest opportunity. I'll get to that in just a second. But one other thing I wanted to play, and it's important because there is a change that is happening right now in this country, and I think we have to recognize it, man. I'll tell you what, it's crazy how there's a president right now, or that even the left is like, this guy is like for the working people. I thought that was the Democrats' domain. I thought they were the ones that walking around with people in the hard hats, and that's a really nice hat. It's a hard hat. I've never seen one of those before. That's right, because you never come around here, but you always talk about how you come around here. You know, the workers and the auto workers and the middle class, and so it was Batya Unger Sargon. I think Batya Unger Sargon. She is somebody who is an opinion editor at Newsweek. And I want you to hear some of what she said. I won't play the whole thing because it's 2 minutes long, but I'll play a little bit of it. She was this person who in 2016 wouldn't go into a bar because she knew Trump supporters were in there. I'm talking supreme TDS. I don't know if supreme is the right way to put it, but crazy TDS syndromes, okay? Now she's like, we have to recognize what is going on with this president right now. And she was on Piers Morgan's program out of the UK. And I want you to hear what she said because, man, I'll tell you what, it was epic. And it's what we all need to realize in the world that we live in right now in 2025. Here, check this out.
What I find so frustrating about the conversation around tariffs is that we all agree on the problem. We all agree that the deindustrialization of America led to the downward mobility of the American working class, deaths of despair, people working multiple jobs and not being able to afford the American dream. We all agree that it is deeply unfair for the American middle class to be bearing the burden of unfair tariffs from other countries. We all agree that it is great for the president to have leverage in order to demand reasonable things like that countries stop allowing fentanyl to murder 100,000 Americans every year and that Mexico do its part to police its own border. And yet when somebody has the courage to show up and say to Wall Street, I am waging war. I'm waging class warfare on behalf of the American working class. And you elites in Wall Street, you do what you need to do because I'm not going to stop fighting for the American working class.
Wait, what did she say?
Suddenly, everybody is sitting around going, oh no, the stock market. Yeah, the stock market looks like that because the rich are punishing Trump.
Okay, wow. You know, she's not wrong about a lot of that. And you start with the premise of he's fighting for the American people and the working class and the middle class, and everybody talks middle class. What do we do about the middle class? What are we going to do? What are we going to do about manufacturing? And then somebody comes along and says, here I am, let's go, let's get some stuff done. And everybody's like, whoa, wait a second. The markets don't look right. Something's wrong here. Well, what's happening? I can't have this. And not just that, but something else that she said. She's talking about, wait a second, you all wanted to stop the flow of fentanyl into this country. I mean, it's killing 100,000 people a year. And somebody is stepping up and going, I'll get it done. Let's go. We're going to shut down these borders. Do you know how many? All right, I'm getting a little excited. And Jacksonville Sheriff TK Waters joining us right now in Florida's Voice, because I'm fired up, sir. First of all, it's good to see you. But I want to bring you in on this, because this part of the conversation, I want to hear from you, too, because, now we have the discussion about a president who's here who wants to make sure that we don't have the flow of fentanyl into this country like we have had, and the 100,000 plus deaths that have been happening. And the minute somebody is starting to do this, and I think yesterday, Tom Homan announced that the numbers across the border that we had, the southern border, were like nine, right? That was the number that he said. It was unbelievable, right? So when you hear this and then people get upset about what Trump is doing, not only is this what you voted for, but oh my goodness, safety and security of neighborhoods, fentanyl, and stopping the flow. I mean, there's an opportunity here that we haven't had in a long time, and something that you have seen probably and heard about in your community and across the state of Florida and across the country. How are you, sir? Good to see you. Sorry.
Doing well. It's good to see you also, Drew.
So I get
Listen, man, when I think about all the rhetoric that comes from out there when they're talking about these things, I think the president himself said it doesn't matter what he does. All right, he can cure cancer, he can save everyone's life, and the left, unfortunately, is going to fight him on it. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand what they're not looking at. I don't understand what they're not seeing. I don't think they've looked at their own numbers that CNN themselves talked about, but they're losing. And they're going to continue to lose. Let them stay that way. Let them keep doing that. All while we work extremely hard to take care of the American people, take care of members of our community here in Jacksonville, Florida, and while the president does his business for the nation.
Yeah. And so that's like the macro, and we'll get into later on, I'll get into the numbers and everything else with tariffs and the like. And then obviously we're talking about border security, and we're talking about the security of communities. And then you go from the macro, which is there across the country and along the border, to the micro, which is the community that you're in, Duval County and Jacksonville, and what is happening there. And to imagine that there is someone, and maybe you can speak to this, to what Mayor Deegan did and the announcement that I'm not going to sign some. I don't understand. So the Jacksonville City Council said, "Hey, we have to do something to help you in this community when it comes to illegals in the community." And then she decided that she wasn't going to sign off on it, but allow it to be implemented. But she didn't have a say in it because she didn't want to sign. I'm a little confused. Maybe you can clear up what's going on with this, because again, I'm concerned about the community. I'm concerned about the safety and security of the community and what you are able to do.
Yeah, so leadership is about making tough decisions.
Yeah.
She decided at this point to sit this one out. The good thing about it is it's going to go into law, right? And the police, the sheriff's office, we don't sit on the sidelines. We're going to continue to do what we need to do. They're going to fund what we need, some more fingerprint machines to help us identify people that can't be identified on the side of the road. So we have that part, but we don't have the luxury of sitting on the sidelines. We're not going to sit on the sidelines under any circumstance. We're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to stop the cars out there and make contact with people that we're supposed to make contact with, that we feel like are a danger to our community. Make sure we have probable cause to do so. But we're going to continue to do what we have to do, because we can't afford to sit on the sidelines. It's her prerogative whether she signs it or not. I'm glad she did not veto it. And I'm glad it's going to become part of our law, because the legislative body of this city, of this municipality, said that we want this. They voted for it. Unfortunately, she didn't sign it, but it's going to go into law. We're going to take care of business moving forward.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that. I mean, this is just me talking, but I don't know how you do that. It's almost like having it both ways. It's like it's going to people and saying, well, I didn't sign it, but at the same time, it's going to get done, which is not real leadership. It's just not. And then, you ultimately look at what is the big picture, which is making sure that you have the help and the resources that you need to get the job done. I'm sure you talk to people in the community. They understand just as well as everybody else across the state about the safety and security of communities. And I can't imagine that people are walking around the community saying, "Oh, you're fine, you're okay. You don't need everything, or you don't need fill in the blank." Well, of course, nobody says that because they want to make sure that you are empowered with the things that you need, right?
Yeah, sure. And like I said, fortunately, Drew, we're going to be able to enforce these things and move forward, and we're going to get some of the tools that we need. It's just difficult to understand. The mayor held a press conference yesterday. In her press conference, most of the conversation was about legal immigrants. And listen, legal immigrants, we love. We care about our community members, 100%. We're not going to enforce laws against people that are here legally. That's never going to happen. And if I find out it happens and we do it, we're going to take care of business on our end to make sure it never happens again. So it's unfortunate. It's hard to understand what may have been going through her mind. I'm sure it was a tough decision for her because it was going to go against everything that party wants done. But listen, we're just going to do what we have to do. We're going to enforce that law. We're going to enforce the state law. And where the federal government allows us to help, we're ready. We're standing on the sidelines ready. And I'll say one more thing.
Yeah.
To this date, right now, we've already done 472 investigations of individuals that have come into our jail that are non-U.S. citizens.
Wow.
And we have 157 of those already processed for removal. So this is a real issue. This is not a something that we're making up. This is a real issue. And I think everyone in America sees it.
Right.
Only problem is there's one side of this of the two-party system. The Democrats don't want to see any of this happen. They want to fight it. Not all, but there's an extreme left that doesn't want to see this stuff happen.
Yeah, and you have to call it like you see it, and it's a lack of leadership. Obviously, she's trying to protect both sides, and you can't. You've got to be a leader on this. The fact that she was bringing up legal immigration as opposed to the criminal illegals and the people that we're talking about speaks for itself. And then, ultimately, at the end of the day, it is all about making sure that you have the tools needed, that you're getting a lot done there, which of course you are. And then being able to speak, like I said before, to people in the community and let them know that, you're able to do. And I'm kind of shocked at the number that you just said. One other thing I would mention when you brought up those numbers is that's the thing that I always worry about when I talk to other people, which is, all of that, Sheriff, that's happening someplace else. Like it's not happening in our community, right? And then you hear those numbers and you're like, well, wait a second. That's right here. So once again, proving that this isn't an outside of the area issue. This is right here in the community, but we're on it.
Yeah, 100%. We are all over it.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue to be.
Yeah.
I can't say that enough. I can't stress that enough. I think I want the people of Jacksonville to know, first of all, are legal citizens. They have no concerns. I'm going to say that again. Probably I've covered that with our local media.
Yeah.
I've covered that with anyone that will listen. Our legal citizens have no issues, nothing to be concerned about.
Right.
The criminal aliens that are in our communities, they have a lot to worry about. They have to worry about the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and the men and women here doing our job to make sure that we keep our citizens safe. And I think our community knows as a whole my stance, where I think, the way I think, what I believe, and what lengths we will go to protect our community.
Yeah. All right, Sheriff, listen, great to see you. Come back soon. Love having you on the program, so we'll speak soon, all right? All the best. God bless.
Will do. Thanks, Drew.
All right, we'll see you. That is Jacksonville Sheriff TK Waters joining us on Florida's Voice. He's awesome. And follow this. It's like, I'm laughing, but it's not funny. So the mayor in Jacksonville says she's not going to sign the Jacksonville Illegal Immigration Act that the city council passed, but ultimately she's not going to veto it. So by doing nothing, it still moves forward. But then she has the ability to go to the Democrats and say, "Hey, I didn't do it. I'm with you. I didn't sign it, right?" It's like, but you knew the end result. That's not leadership. All right. Crazy. All right, let me get back to this before we go to break, because I think this is important. I wanted to get back to the issue of tariffs and the markets and how people are freaking out. They see what's going on. I'm looking at some of what is trending. The banks are running out of money is a hashtag. It's something that's trending on social media. They're not running out of money. It's not happening. People are trying to foment trouble. It's crazy. Stop it. Obviously, the operation is over, and we talked about what the president said. But then I go back to this, epic monologue on Piers Morgan's Uncensored show from Batya Ungar-Sargon, who is the opinion editor for Newsweek, and at one time was a crazy TDS leftist, and now I guess she's like she calls herself, what, a MAGA lefty? I don't know how that works. But she is passionate about what has changed here. The talk has always been about what are we doing about the middle class, and you have President Trump coming along and saying, listen, I got this. And the left's going crazy. But there's somebody who's paying attention to them.
Stock market, yeah, the stock market looks like that because the rich are punishing Trump for siding with the neglected and humiliated American working class over them. We have already seen these tariffs work, Pierce. The number of people crossing the southern border is at 0. Fentanyl is at record lows for the last 10 years. We have already seen $1.2 trillion in manufacturing invested in this country since January 21st. So they have already worked.
It's already worked. Right? So what else did she say?
Now, how long is Wall Street going to keep trying to punish this president for standing the American working class? I don't know, but I can tell you that the view from the street is people cannot believe that there is a president who is working for them, who is putting them first and telling Wall Street to go. Wall Street, which picked the Democrats for the last 3 election cycles in a row. That's what the real story is here.
And she's not wrong. I mean, she really is spot on with a lot of it. And here's the other thing that I think is important before we go to break. There's a change happening here. There is a change. You know, how do I put this the right way? So you have a Democrat Party, right? For the longest time was like, and it's like, okay, let's follow that guy. Yeah, that's what we want.
And I'm a knucklehead at times.
Hey, could that guy be the vice president of the United States? That would be awesome.
Just going to keep digging this hole deeper and deeper.
Well, I'm not digging a hole, but anyway, right. And then let's make her the president. And yeah, we're cool with that. And let's just keep everything rolling. And everybody knows what has happened and has been happening. Well, I mean, we're starting to turn things around, but with the with inflation and Trump trying to buy eggs and then killing chickens and all, and then all the other social ills that have been happening and some of the crazy social things that have been going on. And they've had enough. And what is the Democrat Party doing? They're still trying to convince you that they are the party of the working class. Nope, not anymore. Big D, do you you've heard that before, right? The Democrats are the party of the working class, right? It's the Republicans are the ones that the rich Wall Street, the billionaires, the millionaires and the billionaires, like Bernie always said, right? I mean, that's what
it's not 100% accurate, but that's what they like to say.
Right, it's not. Exactly. It never was. And now the Democrats don't even have the working class. Like, that's not even, right? So when do you hear anybody saying, well, the Democrats are the party of the working class? You don't hear that anymore. You don't hear it from the Utes of America, right? That's not who you're hearing it from at all.
Did you say Utes?
I did. I'm telling you, everything is changing. Parties are changing, the country's changing, and it's all for the better. Good stuff. I'll have more coming up.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you probably know this. I've had a music career, an EMI published songwriter in the past. I've had a top 20 Billboard hit and movie soundtracks. But I got my start right here in Southwest Florida at Soundcheck Studios with Jim Becker. I worked with Jim when he was producing big names like Castrol and Beck's Beer and other commercial clients from ABC, NBC, CBS. He's done it all. It doesn't make a difference what your musical style is if you're talking about recording for bands or
producing, music, jingles. He does it all at Soundcheck Studios. Recently, he worked with RCA artist Doja Cat and also a Sony artist Flipped an Arrow. A lot of great artists have made their way through Soundcheck Studios. So if you want to make your brand memorable with a jingle or maybe a commercial you want to cut, or maybe it's a band, give Soundcheck Studios a call today. 239-340-0515. That's 239-340-0515 for Soundcheck Studios.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
Hey, you got this. Just breathe. Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Radical anti-hunting forces are working to ban fishing and hunting across the country. These extreme attacks on our heritage must be met. Thankfully, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting back as the nation's premier organization defending our rights to fish and hunt. This April, you can step into the arena with us and join our fight in Naples, Florida. Join us at the historic Ritz-Carlton Tiburon and hear from world-class speakers including Tucker Carlson. The annual event is the best place for conservationists, anglers, hunters, and all those who want to protect the outdoors to come together, build strategies to protect our rights, and expand opportunities in the future for generations to come. Visit IOTR.org to learn more about our organization and to sign up to see Tucker in April. Visit IOTR.org to learn more about our organization and to sign up to see Tucker in April. You don't want to miss this event.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. And in our family, we're used to getting involved, and I encourage you to do the same, especially when it comes to caring for your loved ones. When I think about Alzheimer's and the impact it had on my family, I recognize that losing a race isn't such a bad day after all. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, coming up in just a couple of more minutes, Lauren May is going to join us. Step Up for Students. I want to ask her a couple of questions about that on the way. And also, why is the president saying that the markets are going to go boom? What does that mean? Like boom, like happy boom, or like boom, like oh boy? Like is it more like a?
I got something to do. I got to go do boom, boom, boom.
I hope it's not like that. But anyway, we'll find out in just a minute. All right, first let's find out what's going on in the Florida's Voice newsroom. We call this Top of the News.
Top of the News. Florida's headlines.
Now you may be asking yourself, what's going on in the Florida's Voice newsroom? What are they reading? What are they writing about? What are they learning? What kind of arithmetic? They don't do arithmetic there. I just said reading and writing. They don't really. Okay. Anyway, Anita Padilla is in the Florida's Voice newsroom. She's got the latest that they're working on. What's up?
Hey there, Drew.
Hey.
2 Florida Republicans, officially U.S. congressmen after they're sworn into office. I'll have that story in a moment. But first, lawmakers in Tallahassee have approved a bill that bans weather modification and geoengineering. Senate Bill 56, approved by the full Senate this morning. This is legislation that bans the release, injection, or dispersion of chemicals or substances into the atmosphere for the purpose of modifying the weather, temperature, or climate. Senator Ileana Garcia is the bill's sponsor. The House has a version of the bill, too. House Bill 477, sponsored by Representatives Kevin Steele and Debbie Mayfield. The proposal has the support of the Senate President Ben Alberton, who says, he's heard these conspiracy theories, but says, quote, we should not be shutting down legitimate concerns because healthy skepticism is important, and also that people have a right to know what's happening. He says there's a lot we don't know in the field of science and that people have a right to be concerned. This bill does create a system in the Department of Environmental Protection that allows Floridians to report suspected geoengineering. Also, publicly owned airports starting October 1st will be mandated to report any aircraft that has devices to modify the weather. All right, it's official. Republicans Jimmy Patronis, Randy Fine are now officially Congressman Jimmy Patronis and Congressman Randy Fine, both officially sworn in last night by Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, who did the honors of administering the oath of office for both men, posting on his X account that he's excited to have a full team ready to deliver on President Donald Trump's agenda. President Trump endorsed both of those men for their positions. All right, this week, a bill passed through its first House committee, and this one could close a loophole in the law that's been allowing school boards to keep books with sexual content on school shelves. Now, here's what this one does. This is House Bill 1539, and it strengthens regulations on explicit material in school, and it bans the excuses of classifying books as literary, artistic, political, or scientific value as a defense or a reason for keeping the materials in an educational setting, even after a book's been deemed harmful to minors. So this bill states that materials containing sexual content, unless explicitly authorized for health education purposes or approved by the State Board of Education, they have to come off the school bookshelves within 5 days after a parent or a resident objects. And they have to remain unavailable during the entire review process. The bill does require the State Board of Education to monitor district compliance with the material challenge and review the requirements too. And the board could also hold back funds for the school district until they complied. All right, that's it for now. I'll come back in another hour to tell you more about those Trump tariffs. I'm Anita Padilla, the news director. Drew, back to you.
All right, Anita, we appreciate you there in the Florida's Voice newsroom. Anytime you want to check out the stories we are writing about, following, you can just go to flvoicenews.com. That's the website. And right there, you can listen. I just can't let that slip by, what she just said. I know she's got to run, but oh, man, we might touch on this in just a little bit. The DEP... Right, we're talking about the Florida Senate passing a bill to ban weather modification and geoengineering. I just can't let this go. DEP will investigate any report that warrants further review and is authorized to refer reports of observed violations to the Department of Health and Division of Emergency Management. In addition, listen to this. In addition, publicly owned airports are mandated to report any aircraft equipped with devices to modify the weather starting October 1st. I'm sorry, I just can't. Big D, just help me. I can't let that one just slip by.
I love it.
You know what we're talking about, right? I mean, when you think of that, when you hear reporting aircraft with devices to modify the weather, let's just say, You know, there are a lot of people that talk about those trails that they see up in the sky. I wonder if that has anything to do with this as well. I mean, the chemtrail conspiracy theory people.
We just touched on it last week, and now we have evidence that people are going to start reporting it, so we'll see.
Oh, man. Sorry, maybe we'll get back to that in just a little bit. I want to bring in Lauren May, who is the Director for Advocacy for Step Up for Students, doing some great work out there. There's a lot of good things that are going on. First of all, it's great to see you again. How are you?
I'm great, Drew. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic, and I know you are as well, especially when we talk about the education of kids and the opportunities that are there. For those that don't know, Step Up for Students, maybe you can describe what it is you do and what has been going on lately.
Yeah, Step Up for Students is a scholarship funding organization. So we receive money either from the state or from donors, from businesses that donate and receive a tax credit. And then we turn those donations into scholarships for kids to either go to private school or homeschool. And then those are scholarships so that their kids can get the best education possible. And it's really inspiring. And so our applications are now open for the 25-26 school year. So that's why I wanted to come on today and just share with any parents that are listening or any of your listeners who might be interested in a different type of educational setting for their children. Our applications are open. So we have applications available for children to go to a private school. So any family in the state of Florida that has a child eligible for grades kindergarten through 12th can apply for that scholarship. And there's over 2,000 private schools that are eligible to take that scholarship. So if you're interested in maybe putting your child in a private school, I'd encourage you to apply for that one. And we also have the PEP scholarship. So the PEP scholarship stands for the Personalized Education Program. And that's for students who are educated primarily from home. And that scholarship application is actually closing on April 30th. So I wanted to come out and share with your families, anybody that's out there listening or knows somebody who might have kids at home that they're educating, that this scholarship is available for families in Florida, and it really can make a difference. You can use that scholarship dollars to pay for curriculum or books or educational materials. And I work with families all across the state. It makes such a huge difference in kids' lives to be able to have additional books, additional materials, art materials, music materials, to take extra music lessons using those scholarship dollars. So that's why I'm here. It's such an amazing thing. Scholarships in Florida, most states don't have them.
Yep.
And Drew, you're not going to believe this. Already, we opened our applications in February, and we've already had over 425,000 kids apply for a scholarship for next year.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah. And by the way, a little inside Drew Steele baseball, as Lauren already knows, I am a homeschool family, right? I have a 16-year-old. We've been homeschooling since the beginning, and obviously with other homeschool families that we know, and I can tell you how advantageous it is for them, because they're sometimes, I mean, listen, books, they cost money, you know, when you want to be able to, let's just say they have something that they want to do extracurricular, and it's there's an expense there, and it helps so much. But the books and to be able to know that, listen, whatever we need to have in order to educate our child the best way we feel, and the families that we are around, to know that that's available is just incredible. It really has been a blessing. It's I can't even describe some families that truly have been helped by this, and the fact that you can't say it enough about Florida, the opportunities to educate how you want. You know, if homeschooling is your thing, or you ever thought about exploring it, you know, this is the place to do it because of what you have just described and what's available to help when it comes to this, and also, you know, maybe if it's private, whatever it is, but knowing that your child and how they learn is different than how the next door neighbor learns or down the street, and knowing that we have an environment here in Florida like this to be able to explore all the different opportunities, and then the help, like, you know, Step Up for Students and what we have available is just absolutely incredible. And it really is good stuff.
Yeah, there's a woman in the Tampa area, and she actually has 7 children, and she uses the PEP scholarship, and it's amazing for her to tell you about how each one of her children learns in a different way.
Yep.
And actually, she's decided that one of them needs to go to private school, and another one is going to go back to public school next year for high school because they will think they're going to learn better in high school in public school. So it's just really amazing to see how families are figuring out exactly where their children are going to learn best. And then their children are thriving and going on to do amazing things and become really wonderful contributing members of society in our state and giving back to the community. It's just such a great place. And I'm so thankful to be in Florida and to work at Step Up for Students, where we can really help families thrive and help students be the best that they can be.
All right, so families are listening. They're like, oh, this sounds awesome. Where do we go? Where can we, website? Where do we go? Who do we call? What do we do? You can call me. You want to call me? I don't know. But seriously, how do they get a hold?
Yes, it's actually quite easy to apply. You just go to our website. It's stepupforstudents.org, or you can just Google Step Up for Students. We do have a call center that's open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. You can call us. We're happy to help, answer questions. The application process is quite easy, and it's all explained on our website. We do have a couple other scholarships available as well, Drew, so families can go on our website and check those out. You might be interested in that. We even have some scholarships that are available for students who are in public schools. So you never know what you might find if you visit our website.
That's right. Awesome.
Just so many opportunities available in our state. We're really, really blessed. We are the largest school choice state in the country. We have the biggest program in the country. You could add all the other programs together, and we are larger than all of them added together because our lawmakers just truly believe in the power of parents and the power of choice. And to me, when the job that I have, where I get to work with parents across the state and see the difference it makes in their lives, it's just amazing.
It is. All right, Lauren, listen, great to see you. Hopefully we'll talk soon. If you ever want to come back, we'd love to have you. Okay, all the best. God bless.
Thanks, Drew. Talk soon. Don't forget April 30th for the PEP scholarship. If
Right.
you're homeschooling, make sure you apply soon. Talk soon. Have a great
All right.
day.
See ya. There she goes. She's awesome. I'm telling you, Step Up for Students, go Google it. It's so important. And it really is, I could talk about education forever. I mean, I could spend all day talking about it because it's so important that people realize, look, homeschool is not for everybody. It's just not. You may not be built that way or feel like you're not, or whatever it is in your schedule and that's okay. Private school, fantastic. Public school, fantastic. But you know your child better than anybody. And just like she described, we have a family with 7 kids. They're not all identical. They're not all the same, unless they are identical. And then in that case, it wouldn't be octuplets, right, D? If there's 7, it would be septuplets.
Septuplets.
Yep. All right. I got that right. I like that. So, but the point is that they all learn differently. And maybe one would be fantastic in the public school. Maybe the other one, you should think about homeschooling or private school, whatever. We have these opportunities here. So again, I would encourage you, Step Up for Students, go to the website. You'll be glad that you did. All right, what else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? Let's see. So the President of the United States talking a little while ago because people are like, what's going on with the markets? What are we going to do here? The markets are going down. Are you worried about this with the tariffs? And
I think it's going very well. It was an operation, like when a patient gets operated on, and it's a big thing. I said this would exactly be the way it is. We have $6 or $7 trillion coming into our country, and we've never seen anything like it. The markets are going to boom, the stock is going to boom, the country is going to boom, and the rest of the world wants to see, is there any way they can make a deal? They've taken advantage of us for many, many years. For many years, we've been at the wrong side of the ball, and I'll tell you what, I think it's going to be unbelievable.
I think it's going to be unbelievable. So the markets are going to go boom, the stock's going to go boom, the country's going to go boom. I mean, right?
I got something to do. I got to go do boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, see, even Joe Biden's like, I got to go boom, boom, boom. Let's go. So yeah, it is something that you see, and you know that the Democrats, the left, the media, all the same thing, want this to fail, want him to fail, which is a weird thing because that means the country fails, and that means by default you fail. And so you wouldn't want that. You want this to succeed, don't you? So we'll talk about this more coming up in just a bit. It's Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council. Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
You're going to feel it, Gail. And I don't want you to wear that dress because it's the color of blood. Okay? We don't want any blood, Gail. The G-forces that are going to be on you, you're going to feel like, I'm going to die. But you're not going to die, Gail. Venture.
You are scaring the beep out of me right now.
Gail, say a mantra. Do a mantra like, say, Priceline. Hydrogen was being poured into the ship, and the Hindenburg had burned with hydrogen, and I'm thinking, that's frightening, girl. Between the time you leave your bed and get to the ship and go up in the air and then come back down and deal with the press, a long time. There are no bathroom facilities, so they're going to give you diapers.
Oh, give me a break. What's going on here? Big D. Okay, D is like what?
I am definitely going to need some context.
All right, here's the context. William Shatner goes on to the CBS morning show, I guess, and freaks out Gail King because she's going to be going into space next week on the Blue Origin flight there. It's the 11th human flight. So Shatner was on there, right? 90 years old. He went on when he was 90, so he's just like joking with her. It's going to be horrible. It's terrible. All these, things. So she's freaking out. And so he's just making things worse.
That did not calm her down whatsoever.
No, it didn't make me.
Was that his point?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he thinks it's funny. By the way, she's going on an all-female flight with Katy Perry, Aisha Bowe, Amanda Wynn. I don't know who Aisha Bowe and Amanda Wynn are. Carrie Ann Flynn. Don't know. And Lauren Sanchez. Now, isn't Lauren Sanchez the girlfriend, soon-to-be wife of Jeff Bezos?
Name doesn't ring a bell for me.
Yeah, like Lauren Sanchez is Jeff Bezos from Amazon's girlfriend. Isn't Blue Origin like Bezos' thing? So,
and didn't he go up once too?
I think. But the whole point is, with Lauren Sanchez, it's like, I wonder if the Lauren Sanchez thing is like, I don't really want to go. Honey, baby, you're making me look bad. You got to go on the phone. But I don't want to go. No, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be just fine. Just wear something nice. Like... Because at that point, if you're Lauren Sanchez, right? I mean, if it's Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin is like his whole thing, and you're going, if he asks you to go, or people say you should go, what are you gonna say? No. It's like
you should probably go.
Yeah, you probably have to go. By the way, if you look her up on Wikipedia, it says she's an Emmy award-winning journalist, author, philanthropist, and licensed pilot. I don't know why.
Maybe she's actually flying them up.
Okay, so. I saw that. I guess so. The licensed pilot part might be like maybe she's not so worried about it because I fly all the time. No big deal. Space, whatever. I'm flying. But I just thought that was funny when you describe somebody like that. No, she's a journalist, author, philanthropist, and licensed pilot. I don't know. I just sort of like it's like Drew Steele, radio host, and I don't know, podcast host, and likes to make waffles. That kind of. It seemed like a weird. Is it just me? Or maybe I'm just reading.
I feel like they left the coolest part for last, the way they introduced her.
Right. It should be Lauren Sanchez, licensed pilot. And then she's a journalist. And they're like, right, exactly. It's like, why would you make that last?
And she happens to journal.
Yeah, she journals. What? And it's kind of like the, it's like the what is a woman conversation. What is a journalist? I mean... Was that wrong? Should I not have said
nowadays? I don't know what they are.
Exactly. That's the point. So if somebody says, I'm a journalist, well, what do you do? What does that mean? What is a journalist? It's like asking somebody, what is a woman? You're not allowed to ask that. Right?
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
I didn't. All right, coming up, I'm not really sure what's going on. We got a busy day today. Obviously, we're going to talk about, the tariffs, the boom, 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 the, hey, everything's going to boom. No, there's going to be a run on the banks. There shouldn't be a run on the banks. Stop it. Everything's going to be just fine. Maybe people need to remember what it means when there is this little bump. It is a bump, but it's not what you think it is in the market. Like, there's opportunity. I mean, don't listen to me. We've got experts coming up that will explain that and more on the way. Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Congratulations on your show.
Congratulations on your new show. Big deal, huh?
That's why shows like yours are so important.
We have an independent county elected sheriff that's the head of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies, where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, a Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the West Coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floormeisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floormeisters.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do.
Thank you for giving us the voice.
For being out there helping keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for your support for veterans in the military. Educating us. Standing up for conservatism. Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, everybody. Glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele. Big D's on the other side of the glass. You got Nina in the breaking... Oh, she's gone. No, she's not there in the breaking newsroom. And you hanging out with us at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. Coming up in this hour, we're going to be talking about, among other things, what happened just a little while ago, as we have two new congressmen here in the state of Florida. So we're going to get to that in just a little while from now. And also, we're going to talk about ease funding this year. Apparently, the state is looking to take away the ability for about 22,000 Florida students to find funding through EASE funding. And what does that mean for private nonprofit colleges and universities? Because apparently they're going to be affected by this. Well, we're going to have a conversation and see exactly what's going on there, because education is so important. And especially keeping an eye on what we're doing here in the state of Florida, because there's a lot of things we do well, and just, checking on what the House is talking about, what the legislature is talking about. We'll get to that in just a bit. Also, wanted to mention this. The president, who is pretty excited about the fact that we had yesterday, Liberation Day, and the operation is over, and now we are underway to figure out exactly what is going to happen to bring manufacturing and more back to the United States. It was a question that was asked just a little while ago of the National Economic Council Director, Kevin Hassett, talking about the tariffs. And
how long is it going to take? Because I've seen factories that take 5 years to get up and running. How quickly can that happen?
Well, it's already happening. If you look at the real-time data from last month or the month before or 2 months ago, then you can start to see that people are beginning to get ready. Like there were a whole bunch of jobs, auto jobs created in the last jobs report. And so the fact is that people are starting to onshore production here in the U.S.
So starting to already onshore. It is an interesting proposition, though. When you talk about tariffs and reciprocal tariffs, and listen, it's really simple. Reciprocal is easy. Like, for example, if I say to Big D, I'm going to charge you $10 for every time you crack the mic, and you say to me, well, I'm going to charge you $10 every time you crack the mic, right? We go back and forth, the two of us, right? Go ahead, say something.
I thought there was going to be some sort of hint to it.
No, I wanted you to say something.
Are you saying we are reciprocating?
Well, I'm getting to the point, so say something.
Hello there, Drew.
Okay, $10. It's $10.
All right.
And then you say to me,
you say hello to me, you owe me $10.
Okay, right. You know what, dude? I don't have it. Why don't we just do this? Why don't we just let each other talk and call it a day? What do you say?
Sounds like a good deal.
There it is. We just worked out a trade deal. See what I'm talking about? Look at it. See how that works? That's it. It's pretty simple. So we worked it out right there. And so bringing manufacturing back to the U.S. It's happening. We're already starting to see that, the onshore production in the U.S. and the auto industry and others that are coming here. And I love when people say things like, well, how long is this going to happen? I mean, some people say it's 5 years. Oh, okay. That's too long to wait. Never mind. Don't bother. You know what I mean? I understand people want everything done like this, but we're talking about the moving of plants, the opening of plants, the building of said plants. You know, it takes a little while to do it. And if we went through life doing things like, oh man, it's going to take me that long to graduate college, forget it. I don't have that kind of time. Never mind. Or wait a minute. You mean if I go to school and learn this trade, it's going to take me maybe 8 weeks. I don't want to wait 8 weeks. Forget it. Never mind. I'm going back to my couch. What do we do? So you got to start somewhere. All right, it's going to take 5 years. It'll take less, but in some cases it may take longer. Okay, let's make it happen. But, you know, you look at some of the numbers and I see just a little while ago, it looks like it was like 15, the Dow down like 1,500. I mean, yes, they are very large numbers. There's no doubt about it. But let me just say this before we move on. Okay, there's opportunity as well. I hope people realize that when markets correct, there's opportunity. When markets go down, they'll steady. Did you honestly think that after COVID, that the markets were going to be as low as they were and they were going to stay that way, or the markets were just going to disappear? It's like, oh, there goes the Dow. Bye-bye. Never mind. Like, did you honestly think that was it? Of course it's going to come back. Of course there are corrections. As a matter of fact, there have been people for the longest time who have made mention of the fact that just want you to be aware, when it comes to the change in markets, there is opportunity. 1994, Peter Lynch at Fidelity, who was explaining to a group.
But you should study history, and history is the important thing you learn from. What you learn from history is the market goes down. It goes down a lot. The math is simple. There's been 93 years a century. This is easy to do. The market's had 50 declines of 10% or more. So 50 declines in 93 years. About once every 2 years, the market falls 10%. We call that a correction. That means that's a euphemism for losing a lot of money rapidly, but we call it a correction. And so 50 declines in 93 years, about once every 2 years, the market falls 10%. Of those 50 declines, 15 have been 25% or more. That's known as a bear market. We've had 15 declines in 93 years. So every 6 years, the market's going to have a 25% decline. That's all you need to know. You need to know the market's going to go down sometime. If you're not ready for that, you shouldn't own stocks. And it's good when it happens. If you like a stock at 14 and it goes to 6, that's great. If you understand the company, you look at the balance sheet and they're doing fine, and you're hoping to get to 22 with it, 14 to 22 is terrific. 6 to 22 is exceptional.
Yeah, it is. And just another thing to remember as we get through all of this.
So you can take advantage of the volatility in the market if you understand what you own. So I think that's the key to element. Another key element is that you have plenty of time. People are in an unbelievable rush to buy a stock. I'll give you an example of a well-known company. Walmart went public in October of 1970. 1970 went public. Already had a great record. It had 15 years performance, great balance sheet. You could have waited 10 years saying you're a very conservative investor. You're not sure this Walmart can make it. You want to check. You see them operate in small towns. You're afraid they can only make it in 7 or 8 states. You want to wait till they go to more states. You keep waiting. You could have bought Walmart 10 years after they went public and made 35 times your money. If you bought it when they went public, you would have made 500 times your money. But you could have waited 10 years after Walmart went public and made over 30 times your money.
Just saying. That's all. I'm just putting that out there as people are freaking out and they're trying to figure out like how all of this is going to work out, how it's going to play out. You have so many good things that are going. You have a 99% plunge when it comes to the amount of people who are trying to cross our southern border. It's remarkable, some of the numbers. You know that you've got a lowering of fentanyl coming across the border because of what we've been able to do along the southern border. So that is good. And here you just have to trust the process. And it's not like you didn't know it. You didn't know it was coming. But I do think that there are people who are going to try to make you panic about what is happening because they've got nothing else. And you know who I'm talking to. Yeah, Pelosi and the rest of you. You better believe it. That's what they're banking on, that you're going to be too nervous. And we got to stop. We got to slow this down. Just let it play. We'll get to more of what people have been saying today and the president and some of what he said a little while ago on the tariffs. And we'll get to it in just a second. And also a very well-known American automaker who's like, I'll tell you what, we got some deals for you too. Maybe we'll have employee pricing for you as well for the next few months, so that if you want to buy an American vehicle and you're worried about prices going up, don't worry about it. As a matter of fact, it's going to be even better than you can imagine. So we'll have that on the way. All right, what else do we got going here on Florida's Voice? As you may or may not know, we have two brand new congressmen right here in the state of Florida. So that took place today as we had the swearing in of both congressmen now, Randy Fine, and Congressman Jimmy Patronis. Fine obviously won the seat in District 6. You had District 1 by Jimmy Patronis there. And we had some of the audio from Jimmy Patronis, the new congressman, just a little earlier today.
Mr. Speaker, with a Republican majority here in Congress, President Trump and the White House, we've got the opportunity of a lifetime to fix this country, so our children grow up in a nation that's safe and full of opportunities. So I'm ready to get our fiscal house in order. As a former chief financial officer for the state of Florida, I oversaw the state's budget for nearly a decade. I know what it takes to make sure we have a growing economy with a stabilized budget. I've always believed that people in America spend their money better than Washington, D.C. does.
Yep.
In fact, I can't believe the greatness that we're saddling our children with an unbearable amounts of debt. And the president's efforts to root out fraud, waste, abuse, and is critical to restoring trust in our nation's government. For far too long, Americans have sent their hard-earned tax dollars to Washington without really feeling like they're getting anything for it. Frankly, Washington's been indifferent to the needs of families throughout this country, and we've got an opportunity to fix a lifetime of issues for the better. Like I've said, I'm a workhorse, not a show horse. I'm ready to get to work, my colleagues in this country, together to get this country out of the ditch and returning it to greatness.
All right, that's Congressman Jimmy Patronis just from earlier today as he was being sworn in the floor of the House. And a couple of things that he had to say. And, listen, when it comes to fiscal responsibility, we need to get with it. There are a lot of things that we need to keep an eye on, even here in the state, making sure that we continue to be fiscally responsible. And listen, the pitfalls of what could possibly be the talk of lowering the sales tax. Well, there's a pitfall. How can there be a pitfall? Well, I've talked to a few different people who are a little concerned about whether or not this is the time to do this or not. Only because if we get to a point now where we may feel like, and we may be sniffing at a recession, let's just say, as the price of goods might tick up a bit because of these tariffs. And, you can't play the short game. You got to play the long game. You got to be like the left. The left is looking at you. And sometimes when Republicans are like, woo, we won this battle. Yeah, they're like, we play to win the war. We sit back and all of a sudden it's like, wait a second, what just happened? Right, exactly. Because you're playing the short game. They're playing the long game. We need to play the long game as well. And when it comes to this issue of tariffs, I think that's an important thing as well, is that there's going to be a bump in prices. There certainly will be, and many people have described how that's all going to work. Hopefully it won't be as harsh as some people are describing, because the cost of energy is starting to come down. That's going to help a little bit. But if it is true that we're going to feel that, then here in the state of Florida, then we have to start thinking about, all right, well, if we're going to be lowering the sales tax, and we're getting into a point right now where we may have a slowing down of spending, that there are a certain amount of people who have reached out to me and said, well, keep in mind that if we start to slow down, if the country starts to slow down in its spending, where is it going? I mean, a lot of it's going to be discretionary spending. A lot of it is going to be the things, not the necessities, but other things. Maybe trips to the state of Florida. It could be people are preparing for that now and thinking about cutting back over the summer and maybe even into the fall months, and starting to concentrate on that. And so if that's the case, then the time that we thought we would be in, where we would be lowering a sales tax, and if people are not coming the way they were, let's just say last year, for example, to this state, that you got to figure out where else you're going to get that money. Where else are we going to get the money? I wonder if we can talk to State Senator and Senate President Ben Albritton about that coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. I wonder what he thinks about that prospect, because, we've got to make sure that we don't have anything popping up like a state income tax. We don't want to do that. We're already talking about trying to get rid of property tax. So where's the money going to come from? What happens when we hit on lean times? Are we prepared for this? Are we prepared for this pivot? How will we do this? I don't know. But these are questions that we have to think about in that discussion. So it's good to see, for example, the former CFO here of the state, Jimmy Petronas, who is now a congressman, who understands how to be a good steward of tax dollars, and bringing that to D.C., and hopefully he can help maybe to discuss with people and school people on that. Pretty important. All right, what else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? Don't forget, anytime you want to watch at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook, and anytime that you want to call, the number is 866-588-8303, 866-588-8303. Did I hear this right? I want to see if I can find this audio. Yeah, there it is. Oh, man. I kind of want to wait to play that just a little bit because... Oh, all right, let me play this. So, all right, is this a woke news? All right, go ahead, yeah.
This is Woke News Today with your host, Drew Steele.
Thanks, Biff. All right, we were looking at this story this morning, and oh, boy. This is something that you knew was going to happen sooner or later. It's happened a couple of times, and it just shows you that even though you think you've won the battle, you haven't won the war. Fury after a female fencer is disqualified for refusing to compete against a guy, or a trans competitor, as the New York Post put it. Basically saying, listen, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't.
Initially, I told them that I was refusing defense because this person is a man and I am a woman, and this is a women's tournament, and I refuse to defense on principle.
And then later, right after this, we see your opponent comes over. What did you say to your opponent at that point?
My opponent was a little bit confused, thinking that I was maybe hurt, and I said, no, I am refusing to defend you because I'm a woman and you are a man. I have much love and respect for you, but I will not compete against you.
Wow.
And he responded, okay, well, there's a, yes.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm sorry, what was his response?
His response was, okay, but there's a member of the board of directors here, and he supports me, and there's a policy that says that I'm a woman and I'm allowed to compete in the women's tournament, and if you do this, you're going to get blackcarded.
And that's exactly what happened. Disqualified from being able to fence there for the USA fencing tournament, refusing to compete against the biological male. And people are saying, well, that seems like a pretty harsh punishment, like not being able to do this. Took a knee rather than to compete. And that was her, Stephanie Turner, who went on to Fox News earlier today. And this is the kind of thing where I guess, well, so USA Fencing maintained that Turner, the one who took the knee and just said, I'm not going to do this, quote, was not related to any personal statement, but was merely the direct result of her decision to decline to fence an eligible opponent. So it wasn't anything that was said back and forth, but it was just you decided that you weren't going to do this. And USA Fencing is obligated to follow the letter of those rules, ensure that participants respect the standards set at the international level. So the international level is that the policy for transgender and non-binary competitors was updated in 2023, the governing body says. So I bring this up because of what I talked about before, that in many ways what we are going to start to see, there's no doubt about it, is that there are people who believe that they are winning battles, but the left will win wars. That's what they're hanging out for. And winning a war means oftentimes that they're not going to follow, in some cases, laws that are in states like in Florida. They're not going to follow your rules. And they are going to push back at any opportunity that they have. Like this is something that is deeper, in that there have to be more people who are willing to, unfortunately, say that I'm just not going to compete. I just will not do it. And if enough people stop doing it, then that's when things will genuinely change. The problem happens when you have women who are working so hard, who have been competing all their life to get to this place, and to just stop and turn around and walk away, for many, is just not going to happen. They've got to continue to compete. And that's hard. It's hard for them. I understand. But yeah, that's tough. And good for her for saying, listen, I'm just not going to do this. And maybe even, I was going to say it's fencing too. Can you imagine? Last year, apparently, according to the story, last year, the transgender individual who was trying to fence in this competition was fighting in the male category last year. So, you know, the fear for safety for these girls, the obvious questions about what is happening here, and then what it's going to take for the NCAA, for colleges, and unfortunately, it feels like the only way that things like this will change is if enough people decide to stop to where there really isn't a competition. Boy, that's harsh. That's got to be rough. When you spend all of your days training to get to this point, to want to compete, let's say, for the USA fencing team. Yeah. All right, coming up, we will have Top of the News. We'll find out what they're checking out in the Florida's Voice newsroom. Coming up.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you probably know this. I've had a music career, an EMI published songwriter in the past. I've had a top 20 Billboard hit and movie soundtracks. But I got my start right here in Southwest Florida at Soundcheck Studios with Jim Becker. I worked with Jim when he was producing big names like Castrol and Beck's Beer and other commercial clients from ABC, NBC, CBS. He's done it all. It doesn't make a difference what your musical style is. If you're talking about recording for bands or producing music, jingles, he does it all at Soundcheck Studios. Recently, he worked with RCA artist Doja Cat and also a Sony artist Flipped Arrow. A lot of great artists have made their way through Soundcheck Studios. So if you want to make your brand memorable with a jingle or maybe a commercial you want to cut, or maybe it's a band, give Soundcheck Studios a call today. 239-340-0515. That's 239-340-0515 for Soundcheck Studios.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
Hey, you got this. Just breathe. Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Radical anti-hunting forces are working to ban fishing and hunting across the country. These extreme attacks on our heritage must be met. Thankfully, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting back as the nation's premier organization defending our rights to fish and hunt. This April, you can step into the arena with us and join our fight in Naples, Florida. Join us at the historic Ritz-Carlton Tiburon and hear from world-class speakers including Tucker Carlson. The annual event is the best place for conservationists, anglers, hunters, and all those who want to protect the outdoors to come together, build strategies to protect our rights, and expand opportunities in the future for generations to come. Visit IOTR.org to learn more about our organization and to sign up to see Tucker in April. Visit IOTR.org to learn more about our organization and to sign up to see Tucker in April. You don't want to miss this event.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. And in our family, we're used to getting involved, and I encourage you to do the same, especially when it comes to caring for your loved ones. When I think about Alzheimer's and the impact it had on my family, I recognize that losing a race isn't such a bad day after all. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead and in a changing world. You've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, in just a minute, a little more education talk today in the state of Florida because there's some things that are going on with the legislature that we want to get to. We're going to bring in just a minute Bob Boyd, who's the CEO of the Independent Colleges and Universities of Florida, find out exactly what is going on. That's coming up in just a bit. But first, let's find out what's going on around the state of Florida. We call this Top of the News.
Top of the News, Florida's headlines. Now.
All right, let's find out what they are following. What are they working on in the Florida's Voice newsroom? Anita Padilla, she's got the latest. Let's see what's up. What's up?
Hey, Drew, I know you've been talking about the tariffs and the markets, so let's get you caught up right now with what we're covering here in the Florida's Voice newsroom. Markets around the world are reacting to those Trump tariffs. U.S. stocks took a nosedive this morning when the markets opened. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 3.4%. That's the equivalent of tumbling more than 1,400 points as those steep tariffs sent shockwaves through the markets worldwide. On Wednesday, the president laid out his long-awaited plans to slap reciprocal tariffs on countries around the world with new levies ranging from 10% to additional duties for countries that he calls the worst offenders. 185 countries are impacted by these tariffs, including some of our largest trading partners. Well, several Florida Republicans in Washington are praising the president for the move, though. U.S. Senator Ashley Moody says it sends a message to the world that the era of America being taken advantage of is over. And U.S. Senator Rick Scott says Trump is putting American jobs, manufacturing, and our economy first. Now he's urging everyone to go and buy products made in America. Well, it's official. Republicans Jimmy Patronis, Randy Fine, now Congressman Jimmy Patronis and Congressman Randy Fine, both officially sworn in last night in Washington. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson did the honors of administering the oath of office for both of those men. He posted a welcome on his X account saying he's excited to have a full team ready to deliver on President Donald Trump's agenda. President Trump did endorse both of those men for their posts. Moving closer to home, like Tallahassee, where lawmakers in the Senate approved a ban on weather modification. Senate Bill 56 bans the release, injection, or dispersion of chemicals or substances into the atmosphere for the purpose of modifying the weather, temperature, or climate. Senator Ileana Garcia is the bill's sponsor on this one here. The House has a version of this bill, too. House Bill 477, sponsored by Representatives Kevin Steele and Debbie Mayfield. Now, this proposal has support from the Senate President, Ben Albritton, who says he's heard all the conspiracy theories, but says, quote, we should not be shutting down legitimate concerns because healthy skepticism is important. And that, quote, people have a right to know what's happening. He says there's a lot we don't know in the field of science, and people have a right to be concerned. All right, that's it for now. Be sure to head over to Florida's Voice webpage for more news and content like this. I'm Anita Padilla, the news director for Florida's Voice. Drew, back over to you.
All right, Anita, we appreciate you in the Florida's Voice newsroom. Anytime you want to check out the stories that they are working on and that you're hearing about, you want to get more detail, just go to flvoicenews.com. That is the website, and right there you can find out more right now. And coming up in just a minute, we will talk to Bob Boyd. A couple of other things that are going on here, some news out of the state of Florida. We've got Representative Byron Donalds, who is running for governor here in the state, by the way, but also working there in Congress right now, is leading a U.S. House bipartisan effort to move the NASA headquarters to the Space Coast. Come on. So proud to announce the introduction of his 12th piece of legislation, H.R. 2422, the Bipartisan Cape Canaveral Act. Requires the NASA headquarters be officially transferred to Cape Canaveral in Brevard County. And the Republicans in the House that are joining in, Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart and Scott Franklin and Maria Elvira Salazar and Daniel Webster, Carlos Jimenez, Brian Mast, John Rutherford, Corey Mills, Vern Buchanan.
and a couple of Democrats that are joining in as well. So, yeah, we'll see about this. But that would be, as the kids like to say, awesome. Although I don't know if the kids say that or not. But sometimes I like to do it. All right, let's talk about this because there's a couple of things going on with education in the state. Well, there's a lot of things that are going on with education in the state, things that are fantastic, that are amazing, and then some things that people are concerned about. Maybe you don't know about EASE funding, what that is, and the fact that it might be going away or it might be cut. Exactly what is happening here. Bob Boyd is the CEO of the Independent Colleges and Universities of Florida, and he's joining us right now on Florida's Voice, and we'll see exactly what this is all about. There he is. It's Drew Steele. How are you, sir?
Hey, good afternoon, Drew. Good to be here.
Well, thanks for joining us today. Yeah, so a quick question, I guess, would be first, for those that don't know, the EASE, what exactly is that?
So ICUF, the independent colleges, we're all the nonprofit institutions in Florida. We have 180,000 students, so that would include University of Miami, Nova, St. Thomas University, Berry, Florida Memorial are good examples. And the EASE is the effective access to student education. What people in Florida may not know is, like in K-12, where we have choice, we have higher ed choice. And since 1979, we've had the EASE voucher to help Florida residents attend a private school that's not for profit, and to give those students a choice and to give them access. And Drew, what's happening is in the House budget, they have cut this award by $76 million, and that affects 22,000 students. So 22,000 students are going to lose this award. Many of these students are pursuing high demand degrees like nursing, teaching, and we're really concerned because a lot of these students may have to drop out of these degree programs if this cut is held up in the House. It's not in the Senate, but it's on the House side.
So what's been the response then? Because it seems like it's been around for a long time. So why? Why this?
Well, the Houses are making budget cutting. They're going through exercises to cut the budget. We hope the Senate says no to this. But what I think Floridians have to remember is Florida, the independent sector produces a lot of the workforce for Florida that we need. We have a pilot shortage, we have a nursing shortage, we have a teaching shortage. Just for example, the ICUF schools produce about 30% of all Florida's nurses. So not only on top of that, you're raising the tuition on these students, and EASE is about $3,500 a student. But one thing I do want to tell you is the tremendous ROI for Florida. The return on investment is great because Florida only spends $3,500 a student to produce these high demand degrees, whereas on the state side, it's a much higher cost to the taxpayer. So like in K-12 choice, this is a really good bargain for the state. And that's why we're so concerned about it. The Senate is sticking with honoring choice, and we're hoping the House gets back there.
Yeah, and one of the things that I have heard about this in the past, as far as the independent colleges and universities in the state of Florida is, and one of the reasons why people appreciate them so much is because typically people stay in the community, that they are here, that they serve in the community once they graduate. And that is so important. That helps us right here in the state. Is that true? I mean, am I right about that?
That's absolutely true. So 82% of the EASE graduates that get this voucher remain in Florida. And one of the big concerns that you talk about in every state is the brain drain. You have folks coming here, they graduate and they leave and go get, but Florida is growing. We have great jobs in Southeast Florida on the Space Coast. They need our engineers. They need the teachers. And that's why EASE is so important. One thing I would say is a good way to look at it, for every $1 million the taxpayers invest, we produce 277 degrees. The state system, which is number one ranked, they produce 19 degrees. So it's expensive on the state side. That's why you want to leverage the private sector, to solve your talent needs and your workforce needs.
Right. So this is something certainly to keep an eye on. And I guess before we go, once again, I guess I could just ask this, in Tallahassee, as you've been talking to people, is it possible that this is something that they weren't aware of, that this cut? I mean, I know overall the talk of cutting spending, I get that, but just to see, whether or not there's something there that people may not have realized before in the reception of hearing what it is you're talking about.
Yeah, we presented in the House Higher Education Committee about a week and a half ago.
Okay.
And the comment from the members was, what is your special sauce? How are you able to generate such good returns on investment? So I think the average legislator doesn't really understand what's happening here. I think it's coming from a high level to make budget cuts. I know this House is talking about sales tax cuts. The governor's talking about property tax cuts, all good,
right.
But there's consequences in higher education in this area.
All right, and if people want to find out more maybe about you and the organization and learn more about independent colleges and universities, any place that they can go?
Yeah, they can go to icuff.org. We've got a whole section on our website explaining this cut, and we'd be happy to get anybody any information about this issue.
Okay, good stuff. All right, Bob,
Thank
listen,
you.
all the best. God bless. We'll see you soon.
Oh.
All right. There he goes. That is Bob Boyd, CEO of the Independent Colleges and Universities of Florida. And again, there are a lot of things that we do so well here in the state of Florida when it comes to education. And we've talked about many things, school choice, obviously, PEP programs, and some of the Step Up for Student programs that we talked about earlier, and the Independent Colleges and Universities of Florida. And to have this funding, the EASC funding, and how important that is for many, for the very reason that I brought up, which is, I mean, how cool is it to know that when you have students graduating, that they stay within the community, that brain drain isn't, as he described, isn't happening. So that's important to recognize. So we'll check that out. We'll keep an eye on this, and we'll see what else is happening with that. And will there be any changes coming up? We've got how many more weeks left before the end of session? All right, what else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? Yeah, boy, I'll tell you, the discussion certainly about the drop in markets, the talk of the markets being way down. The president was asked about that.
The markets today are way down, the worst day in years because of the tariffs. So how's it going?
How's it going?
I think it's going very well. It was an operation, like when a patient gets operated on, and it's a big thing. I said this would exactly be the way it is. We have $6 or $7 trillion coming into our country, and we've never seen anything like it.
I've never seen anything like it. He still believes. I mean, there are people in the media that says that the president's doubling, tripling down on this. He sees the markets that are crashing, and what does he do? He sits there all smug and says, it's just like an operation, and I knew it would go exactly this way. And they're going to try to make something out of this. And again, yes, was there a huge drop? Yep. Is it something to keep an eye on in the next few days? Certainly. And how the markets will react days after today? Yes. Is it something else to keep an eye on with regard to the trillions that he's talking about in jobs and opportunities for workers in the country, like General Motors is going to be sharply increasing vehicle production in Indiana following these tariffs, according to Reuters? Yeah, that's something else to keep an eye on too, is it not? And also, how many times in the past we've heard from others who have talked about tariffs? Good, right?
Further, what they have said is that we need to not worry about manufacturing in America, because what we should establish is a policy of unfettered free trade. We don't need tariffs. What we need is to allow corporate America the freedom to throw American workers out on the street, people who are making 15, 20, 25 bucks an hour, healthcare, pensions, throw them out on the street, because somehow, Madam President, we are going to create wealth in America and good paying jobs in America as we shut down plants. We move to China, corporations there pay workers 20, 30 cents an hour, and we bring the product back into this country. And anyone who goes shopping in a mall knows how difficult it is today to find the product made in America. But that is the philosophy. And I have to say, in that regard, the champion, and he is honest on this one. Senator McCain has been criticized recently for not being the most honest candidate we have seen in terms of his ads and so forth. He has been honest on this one.
Wow. At the time, it was a dig on John McCain. 2008, Bernie Sanders, who wanted tariffs. Because not having it means the manufacturing goes overseas. Well, it went. And so now all of a sudden, it's the worst thing. It's horrible. How dare you talk about this? And yeah, when we come back, some more audio from the president, some more audio from others about this very topic, and some other things we are following here in the state. Closing loopholes, talk of property tax, sales tax, and more. A lot of things going on here at Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council. Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Oh boy, I noticed Laura Loomer's name was
trending on X earlier today, and now CNN is talking about it. Why? I'm going to mention it in just a second. But first, I wanted to play this little bit of audio here. The new Prime Minister of Canada was being asked about some of the tariffs and what is going on with the president here in the United States. And what about our relationship?
You said previously that the relationship that Canada had with the United States is now over. Is the U.S. still our ally?
The U.S. Absolutely. Look, the U.S. is absolutely our ally. It's our ally in security and defense partnerships.
Wait. Are they still our ally? Well, I would hope so. And then. Oh, wait, I want to play what he said again. This is the Prime Minister when asked about, are they still our ally after all of this? Okay.
Is the U.S. still our ally?
Yeah.
The U.S. Absolutely. Look, the U.S. is absolutely our ally. It's our ally in security and defense partnerships. It's our most important security ally.
Yeah, our most important security ally. I would agree with that. As a matter of fact, I remember a time not too long ago when... I don't know if I should play this. All right, I'll play it. D, should I play this, yes or no? And you don't even know when I'm getting ready. You want me to
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. I remember not too long ago the discussion about Canada and our friendship and national security and... Wait, what?
Canada has the greatest fence ever built. America. It is foolproof if you can afford it. Really easy to be the cool, open-minded hippie country when there's a Kevlar snuggie of America draped around your fat, frozen daring the world to talk. We don't use our military. We know. We got you taken care of. Go back to bed. We'll wake you when the NHL playoffs start.
I told you, D.
Daniel Tosh?
Yes.
Classic.
Yeah, I guess that was classic. He's got a point. It's, of course, we're their most... Oh, I shouldn't say that. All right. For all you Canadians, we love you. Hang out. Enjoy the beaches. Enjoy the restaurants. Enjoy Florida. It's a beautiful place. I know it's warming up there, but hold on a second. In Canada, isn't it like when things warm up, isn't it like, oh, wow, it's really, what a great day to go to the beach. Oh, we got to go. That's it. It's freezing. What happened? You know, it's like, what is it? I don't know. D, in Canada, is summer like 3.5 weeks? Is that how long summer is in Canada? I don't know. Maybe
man, I'm not sure. I went to school upstate and we had a lot of winter, so
yeah.
I don't know about Canada.
A lot of it was like it's like 3, 2, 1. Get the kids in the car, head to the beach, quick. Like that kind of thing. I don't know if that's true or not. That could be hyperbolic, and I could be upsetting people from Canada, and so I apologize. I certainly don't want to do that. All right, anyway, we move on. Is there anything else we can... Hit me! All right, some of the things that we may or may not bring up with Senate President Ben Albritton coming up in just a couple of more minutes. He'll join us in the next hour. Some of what happened today there at the legislative session in Tallahassee. A pretty big day supporting first responders, some ballot fraud initiatives that passed. There's a lot of things that passed... and some even making its way to the governor's desk by huge margins. One of them is peer support for first responders. That expands the definition of first responder to include crime scene and evidence support personnel, granting them access to confidential peer support services similar to those provided to traditional first responders like police officers and firefighters. I thought that was always there, so I'm kind of surprised it wasn't. But that's one of those that passed 37-0 in the Senate and 113-0 there in the House, and has cleared its way to the governor's desk. The geoengineering and weather modification activities one is very interesting. Maybe we'll bring that up with Senate President Ben Albritton coming up. My name is Drew Steele. This is Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way. No way. No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Congratulations on the show. Congratulations on your new show. Big deal, huh?
That's why shows like yours are so important.
We have an independent county elected sheriff that's the head of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies, where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the west coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do.
Thank you for giving us the voice.
For being out there helping keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for your support for veterans in the military. Educating us. Standing up for conservatism. Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. So glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele, Big D on the other side of the glass, and Nina's over there in the breaking newsroom, and you hanging out with us at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. Coming up, I just want to ask this question. If you were a business and you lost $115 million, now you didn't lose it, you know where it is, but it's not in your pocket, and it should have been by all accounts. Would you do the same thing? Would you continue to do what you're doing? Or do you think you might change what it is you're doing because something you did is the reason why the money's missing? It's not missing again. It's just not in your pocket. I think this is a big day because I'm wondering whether or not this business is going to change its ways. We will find out. I'll explain coming up. Plus, there's more news about Elon Musk, and the talk remains that he's going to be leaving very, very soon, that Elon's out, and there's Bloomberg. Musk's White House role is ending, but his influence will remain. But then you have others that are like, that's not happening. So, yeah, there's a lot going on there. We'll get to it coming up in just a bit. But first, why don't we pivot to what's going on in Tallahassee in the legislative session, as we are just weeks away from it finishing up, but a lot is happening. And we've got Senate President Ben Albritton, who is joining us right now on Florida's Voice. We always love a visit because we know how busy he's been, and just the fact that he's taken a few minutes out of his day to join us, we do appreciate it. How are you today, sir?
Hey, my man, Drew. It's good to see you, buddy. Hey, look, man, things are going well.
Yeah.
Tallahassee, we're doing all the work up here, and I'm so excited about what we're going to be able to produce for Florida.
Yeah, today I was looking at some of the hot topic bills and doing a rundown here to see some of what was happening. I do see a lot of 37-0 bills passed, which is exciting to see. People unanimously looking at certain things and agreeing, and that's always nice. One of the things I noticed, and we were talking about earlier today, is the geoengineering and the weather modification activities one. And I have to tell you that scared me a little bit. When we were there, we talked to Senator Garcia about this, and I have to tell you, it was like all kinds of things go through your mind, like worrying about. But But the one thing I think that's important, and it might be the overarching discussion that we might have today, is, man, being proactive as opposed to reactive is such a good thing. And so when people look at certain things that we're going to be talking about, it's always good to be on that side of the ledger. What do you think about this geoengineering and weather modification activities, Bill?
Well, Drew, here's what I'll tell you. First of all, this conversation with Senator Garcia started with me months ago, and she started texting me about this, and she'd give me a call and say, hey, I'm really worried about this. And in my mind, I thought, are we seriously trying to control God's domain? I mean, are we really, honestly, is this really happening? I honestly, I had a hard time believing it at first. And then she sent me information and sent me websites and all of this. And all of a sudden I thought, holy mackerel, scary, scary, scary. So look, we had a great conversation on the floor about this today. And I'm proud of Senator Garcia bringing this forward. She's fought for this all the way through. And I'm proud of all of our colleagues to recognize this is not right. We shouldn't be doing this. And there are ramifications of doing this that we don't even know yet. That is scary.
Right. And, we've talked about it in the past, the idea that so many things that people maybe in the past would have said, oh, this is conspiracy theory, and all of a sudden become conspiracy fact. And then you start to read about it, and then you start to find out more about it. And like I said, the proactive as opposed to being reactive to get ahead of these things is important. And even with this, and some other things too, one of the other things I wanted to ask you about, if you don't mind, is, to me, the Jason Rayner Act is important. And I know there was a little back and forth with some of what was happening there just a few weeks ago or a week ago. And I just wonder if you have a thought on this and some of what has been discussed with criminal offenses against law enforcement officers and other personnel. And, as an overview, it seems like it's very important that we get this right.
Absolutely. So I understood the premise of the bill. That was a tragedy. So I was not in the rostrum at the time. The pro tem was leading the chamber. I like to get down, move around, and be sure and get a feel for what's happening, on the floor, and have the flexibility to be able to intervene if I need to.
Yeah.
So what I noticed is that several members of our Black Caucus had come together, and they'd filed an amendment on the bill originally. This is this last week, and the temperature in the room started getting elevated, and it got pretty heated. So I made a decision, and Senator Leak agreed to temporarily postpone the bill because I didn't fully understand, and this is really important about governing. I didn't fully understand what the real problem was with the bill and what Senator Jones and those in the Black Caucus, why they saw a problem with it. So we hit the pause button, and today an amendment was filed that had been worked through the process. We communicated well, we listened well, and today the vote on that bill was unanimous and solves a major problem that needed to be solved, plus alleviated the concerns of the Black Caucus. So look, I'm a big believer that the most important thing we can do, because when we make decisions up here, Drew, things happen.
Yeah.
People's lives are affected. So we need to get it right every time we can, and we leaned into this one and we got it right.
Yeah, and when I see what the amendment is, and it's a tweak. It certainly is. And obviously when the bill passes unanimously after this, then, people feel like, okay, then you got it right. And so sometimes, the concern is, and I'll tell you, right out of the gate, on the one hand, we always want to make sure that when something like this, which is super important, and you do want to get it right, but at the same time, you want to make sure that the heated rhetoric doesn't win at the end of the day, just for the sake of opposing what it is that you're doing. Okay, correct. That's the one side. So we don't want a victory there just for the sake of gumming up the works, causing trouble, just so that constituents can say that, we're doing something when there's something that's good and a good piece of legislation that we need to focus on. But on the other hand, as you look at it today, fundamentally, it looks good and agreed upon. So we got things done. I hope that makes sense.
No, brother, that makes sense. Look, at the end of the day, Florida, even within areas that are really, really Republican, there's a diversity of thought and a diversity of perspectives. And the most important thing we can do on the Senate floor is the same thing that we should be hoping for in our local communities, and that is be good listeners and just really understand where somebody's coming from so that you can try to problem solve together. And look, you're spot on. Today was a huge celebration. The bill was much needed. The amendment was great. Like there is no reason when you can get a unanimous vote on something that can be as divisive as the bill was. That's what I consider my job to be.
Yeah. Senate President Ben Alberton joining us on Florida's Voice. So what else has been going on? Tell me some of the other things that you've been doing this week and what you've been working on, what you're excited about.
Oh, well, appreciate the question. We're in budget season. We are right in the front side of the curve to develop the budget for the state of Florida. And I'm so excited about the large scale conversations that are going on about tax relief for Floridians.
Yeah.
So that's going to yield very well for Florida. We have robust spending where it needs to be. We're having a lot of good conversations about storm recovery and making sure we're prepared for God willing, it doesn't happen again, but chances are we're going to have another storm. So making sure we get this thing right. But I'm really excited about the tax relief portion of this.
Yeah, and I have to tell you that when I talk to people, it is like front of mind. I think this is what they are talking about to me because they feel like it's tangible. It's something that they're going to notice right away. And then the debate as to how this is all going to shake out. Have you talked to anybody about maybe the concern that, for example, lowering the sales tax and doing that, if that were to happen, that we also have to make sure that we ensure that the things that we care about and are most important, which are certainly being ready to pivot, being able to be mobile when it comes to the inevitable storms that are coming along, that we want to be able to not have that touch, not know that is always there, that quote unquote rainy day fund is still solid as it has been, because it's something that has been appreciated. I mean, there's a lot to say about surplus, but there's also a lot to say about good stewards of the tax dollars and making sure that pathway is still there, that everything is still good, that all the ducks in a row, if you will, so to speak, are there, if that makes sense.
Sure, it makes sense. So a couple things I threw out there. One, again, I'm excited about just the conversation of some large-scale tax relief for Floridians. Second, with the good work they're doing in Washington, we don't yet know for sure what about 32% of the state budget is federal pass-through dollars for programs that we implement down here on behalf of the federal government. So we don't know for sure yet what the impacts of the DOGE movement in Washington is going to yield on our budget specifically. And then you've got the other situation where you look at the sales tax, and you're right. Look at sales tax and look at property taxes. Those are two pretty easy discussion points on where some important levels of taxation happen for Floridians. However, if you own your home, that's great. That if we can lower the property taxes on that home, if you are purchasing a home, you bought a home, that is great. There's also a very large contingency in Florida of young families and elderly people that, the young families, they hadn't bought a home yet. They're saving for a down payment. They want to get in the housing market. They're just not ready to be there yet. Like, how do we help them? Yeah. Right? Because they certainly need help. And folks, the elderly folks in Florida, like, where are the tax points that we could be helpful for them? It could be property taxes. It could be sales tax. It could be, one idea we're throwing around is the idea of lowering the tax or eliminating the tax on certain clothing items, right? If you're that young family and you're raising two kids and you're a two-income household, you're probably spending a decent amount of money on clothing as those kids grow. So look, everything's on the table in the Florida Senate.
Yeah.
I applaud the governor for coming out strongly for property tax reform. I applaud the speaker for coming out on the sales tax reform. Both of those issues have pros and cons. And what we're trying to do is assemble a package that's robust and can thread the needle and get that tax relief where it's really needed.
Yeah. And threading the needle is the key. That's what's going to be the tough part and the hard work, and no doubt. And, you know, I was just having the conversation yesterday. I think I was having the conversation with Dee on the air as I was talking about my dad, who has this home, 87 years young, and he's got this home and it's great. And of course he owns the home, but he still has to pay that property tax, and it's a chunk. And, you know, to think that people feel like, you know, do I own this home? Do I, you know, that feeling of, I'm still making payments. Whose house is it? How does, and that idea that, man, you know, there's got to be a way to help him. There has to be a way to help families in the same situation. I think, again, threading that needle. But the important thing is these debates and discussions that are happening, which I guess before we go, you can talk about this. And, you know, we've mentioned it before, but I think it bears repeating. It is a time where we're having these big, bold discussions and talks, and that's good. It's a good thing. We should go there.
100% yes. Look, governing is about making choices. And I will guarantee you, rarely will you ever get a group of people together that look forward to solving some problem that exists in their life. If it's government's role to do that now, right? But rarely will you can't please everyone. It's impossible. And governing is about measuring, it's about understanding, it's about listening, and it's about making the best decision you can to find a solution for the most amount of people possible. So as we go forward with this, you know, the worst thing I think we could do would be to put Florida government in a situation, to your point earlier, and I just want to leave you with this, to your point earlier, that we get down the road, you know, 3, 4 years, 5 years down the road, I'll be long gone. And all of a sudden, the minimal levels of services that government should be providing to our citizens cannot be done efficiently. They can't be done timely because we have a revenue constraint because of decisions we make today. Mm-hmm. And that is large on my mind. People want their trash picked up on time. They want energy delivered to their house. Consistently, they want to make sure, and we're working to solve this particular problem, but a great example would be they don't want to have to stand in line for an hour and a half to get a driver's license, right? So, we have to pay attention to those kind of things too. So in threading that needle, I know there's going to be people that won't be pleased with the totality of the Senate's recommendation, but you're right, bud. We're having this conversation. We're doing the work. Yeah. We're learning, and we're getting there.
Are you making the suggestion that people don't like being there at the DMV? Is that they don't like standing?
Hey, now, I've just heard rumors.
Has anybody ever said that? That's the one thing. There are things in life that you'll never hear, like, I love standing online at the DMV. Nobody has ever said that ever. So that's something I think everybody can agree on. See? Look at that. That's how it works. All right. Always great to see you. God bless. We'll talk soon, okay?
You too, buddy. God bless you. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you. That is Senate President Ben Albritton joining us on Florida's Voice. Yeah, the DMV thing. I don't imagine there has to be, there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way to fix that. Although in certain areas, I think they've, I don't know, Dee, when's the last time you went to the DMV and thought, hey, this is pretty good. This wasn't bad at all?
Never.
Okay, well, there you go. So maybe when certain political things pop up and it gets really heated and creepy and weird, maybe that's what we do. Maybe we all say, man, doesn't the DMV stink? And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, it's a kumbaya
and they all
moment.
Cheer, yeah.
Yes. It's like, see, I told you we can. Whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's move on here. I just want to play this, and I think it's important because, there are things that happen on a state level and a federal level. And then there's certain things that happen with people who either are loved or despised. But ultimately, when the questions are asked about what said person is doing, the fundamental thing to ask is it true? Is it right? Right? So if you have somebody that you're like, oh man, that person's nuts, that person's crazy. Well, what are they saying? Is it true, or are they really genuinely nuts? And you have the evidence to show that they're wrong. For example, earlier today, me and D and I don't know which you would say, but the two of us, Big D and me, together, we're talking about how Laura Loomer was trending on X, and I was like, oh, what's going on here? Oh, I found out what's going on. So Laura Loomer had a meeting with President Trump, and we found out that 3 people at the NSC, National Security Council, were relieved of duty. Now, Laura Loomer, Donald Trump, national security, 3 people lost jobs. Don't you think for one second that CNN is all over this. You better believe it.
Driving this, and it speaks to the level of influence.
And let's talk about the impact on national security, who they are, and why this matters so much for how the national security of the United States of America is run and who's doing it.
Yeah, you bet. Like, who's running the show here? Who's doing it? Oh, and by the way, on the heels of the Signal app problem that we found out about, is it possible that maybe there are some people, allegedly, who may not want to keep conversations and secrets, let's just say, and maybe are holdovers from the Biden administration, and maybe aren't going to be very helpful with a new national security advisor and a national security council and the like? I don't know. It'd be really weird if you start hearing about the people that Laura Loomer called out, and you come to find out that they are a part of the swamp. They've been there for a really long time. That would be weird.
Well, what's fascinating about this is that the 3 staffers that have been fired here are outside of Washington Beltway national security circles. These are pretty anonymous people.
Anonymous people, okay.
They are foreign policy minds that have serious resumes, that have worked serious jobs on Capitol Hill.
All right, serious resumes, serious jobs on Capitol Hill.
In the State Department, in think tanks. You know, these are people that are well known in national security circles.
Well known in national security circles. Now, remember how long Donald Trump has been president of the United States and how long there's been an NSA director. Okay, go.
Because they are longtime practitioners of foreign policy, experienced in making that kind of policy. These are the people that are sort of engaged in the nitty-gritty of actually designing national security policy for the president. But they're not big public figures. You know, they're people like Brian Walsh, who was who ran intelligence programs for the White House, who formerly worked for Senator Marco Rubio when he was chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee. You had a senior director who worked on technology issues for the National Security Council, and you had the head of legislative affairs for the National Security Council. So again, not people that are sort of big public names that you're hearing on cable news.
Right, not big cable news names, but people behind the scenes. And they brought up Marco Rubio as one of the people that were there and staffed. And so what Laura Loomer was saying is that the other thing that they're not telling you is that these were Biden holdovers. Oh, did you know that? Oh, I'm sorry, did we not know? Oh, no, you didn't know that. You weren't told that part, were you, by CNN? So she exposed the Biden holdovers that should be nowhere near the Trump team. And she put it out on her X account, and she talked about this. And they're hearing confidential and private meetings in the Oval. And she did some research, found out about them being holdovers. And again, are we really going... Is it true? Are they holdovers? And if they are, what are the feelings about the president and the importance of strong vetting even locally, local? Think about that. How important it is to vet candidates. I don't care where they're from or who they are, who you think they are. You've got to vet them. And so, for the sake of protecting the president and national security, she said, "Hey, I got some information here." And he was like, "All right, well, it looked legit." But they didn't tell you that part. Why would you want people who are not on board with the Trump agenda? Why would you want people who are not, who have been part of the Biden administration in the past? Why would you not want a clean house? Again, it feels a lot like the left's being called out and caught again. Like, this is why they're getting upset. It's like, oh man, they got us again. Yeah, we got you again.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA, is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families, and one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you probably know this. I've had a music career, an EMI published songwriter in the past. I've had a top 20 Billboard hit and movie soundtracks. But I got my start right here in Southwest Florida at Soundcheck Studios with Jim Becker. I worked with Jim when he was producing big names like Castrol and Beck's Beer and other commercial clients from ABC, NBC, CBS. He's done it all. It doesn't make a difference what your musical style is. If you're talking about recording for bands or producing music, jingles, he does it all at Soundcheck Studios. Recently, he worked with RCA artist Doja Cat and also a Sony artist Flipped an Arrow. A lot of great artists have made their way through Soundcheck Studios. So if you want to make your brand memorable with a jingle or maybe a commercial you want to cut, or maybe it's a band, give Soundcheck Studios a call today. 239-340-0515. That's 239-340-0515 for Soundcheck Studios.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
Hey, you got this. Just breathe. Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Radical anti-hunting forces are working to ban fishing and hunting across the country. These extreme attacks on our heritage must be met. Thankfully, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting back as the nation's premier organization defending our rights to fish and hunt. This April, you can step into the arena with us and join our fight in Naples, Florida. Join us at the historic Ritz-Carlton Tiburon and hear from world-class speakers including Tucker Carlson. The annual event is the best place for conservationists, anglers, hunters, and all those who want to protect the outdoors to come together, build strategies to protect our rights, and expand opportunities in the future for generations to come. Visit IOTR.org to learn more about our organization and to sign up to see Tucker in April. Visit IOTR.org to learn more about our organization and to sign up to see Tucker in April. You don't want to miss this event.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. And in our family, we're used to getting involved, and I encourage you to do the same, especially when it comes to caring for your loved ones. When I think about Alzheimer's and the impact it had on my family, I recognize that losing a race isn't such a bad day after all. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead and in a changing world. You've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you would like to watch it, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble X, and Facebook, and anytime you want to call, 866-588-8303. That's the phone number. We're live each and every day. 866-588-8303. I had some people say, hey, when you give the phone number out, can you slow down when you say it? That was my wife. It's a long story. But anyway, because she listens. All right, so you can call whatever's on your mind. All right, let's do this right now at 5:35. We do it each and every day. It's the top 5 audio clips of the day. It's my top 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Drew's top 5. Number 5.
For the next couple of months, we're going to offer our customers the same deal that our employees get. And as you say, that's worth thousands of dollars. You come into our store, you get employee pricing. This is kind of to call a little bit of a timeout. We've heard some uncertainty from our customers, and we want them to be assured that Ford, the most American auto company, is going to do right by them, as are our dealers. We make the most cars here. We employ the most. We export the most. And so we here at Ford, we're in a good position to address customers' concern and give them a really great deal on a great vehicle.
Well, that's interesting. That happened this morning when Steve Crowley, the Ford chief policy officer, said for the next couple of months, Ford's going to offer American customers employee pricing, and that's worth thousands of dollars from America for America deal. And they said, look, we're in a position to do it, so we're going to do it, and let's do it.
Number 4.
What the administration is doing, only 33% said because they like what the administration is doing. So if we want to just keep
Question,
going,
who's more popular right now, Donald Trump or congressional Democrats?
doesn't matter. Donald Trump happens to be the president, doesn't he?
It doesn't. He's sitting at 50-50. You're sitting at 20-80.
He's at 48-50, actually, and increasingly people. You want to call the AP and tell them they're
call CBS News?
Sure.
Sorry, that's CNN and Scott Jennings. When you have a left-wing panelist who is trying to go after Trump and, of course, Doge and Elon Musk and Republicans and conservatives and I don't know anything, even the color red. I mean, they just hate it. He looks into the camera and basically says, "Who's more popular right now? Donald Trump or Democrats in Congress?" It doesn't matter. No, it really does matter. There's an election that took place and who they believe in, and even after all that time, and the 21% approval rating, the lowest since the ratings have been held.
Holy Toledo!
Yeah, it's really, really bad for them, and it was funny.
Number 3.
Mr. Speaker, with a Republican majority here in Congress, President Trump in the White House, we've got the opportunity of a lifetime to fix this country so our children grow up in a nation that's safe and full of opportunities. So I'm ready to get our fiscal house in order. As a former chief financial officer for the state of Florida, I oversaw the state's budget for nearly a decade. I know what it takes to make sure we have a growing economy with a stabilized budget.
Just a little bit from the newly minted Congressman Jimmy Patronis on the House floor today, along with Congressman Randy Fine, who were both sworn in today and now are CD1 and CD6 representatives. So congratulations to both of them.
Number 2.
fix that. In a few days, we're about to see prices go up at the grocery store. What do you say to those Americans?
I don't think that's going to happen.
You don't
the reason
think,
it's
can you
going to
guarantee
happen,
it won't happen?
watch. No one can guarantee anything, but that's very nice. Thank you. I wish I could guarantee
Okay.
whatever you'd like. But the fact is, wait, let's
Who
take one
pays for the
moment. Wait.
tariffs?
You asked me a question. Let's go through it, okay? Our farmers are blocked from selling almost anywhere. We can't, 1.4 billion people in India, and we can't sell them corn. Europe won't let us sell beef. Australia won't let us sell beef. Why?
Of hormonal chemicals.
Yeah, no, that's not why. It's because they want to just protect. I know. They want to say, oh, what, the seeds are different, right? Other people in the world are using seeds that insects. Come on, this is nonsense. This is all nonsense. What happens is they block our markets. When we open those markets, our volumes grow. Our farmers will thrive, and the price of groceries will come down. Let Donald Trump run the global economy. He knows what he's doing. He's been talking about it for 35 years. You got to trust Donald Trump in the White House. That's why they put him there. Let him fix it.
Well, that's the Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, who's trying to convince CNN to let Donald Trump do his thing. He's been talking about it for 35 years, 36 years. Let him do his thing. You're not going to convince CNN of that. As he's trying to say, listen, can you guarantee that prices aren't going to go? I can't guarantee anything, but what we can guarantee is that there will be negotiations now, that we'll be able to talk about different things when it comes to tariffs. And we know what other countries have been doing to us, and things are going to be different.
Number 1.
$5 million. For $5 million, this could be yours. That was the first of the cards. And you know what that card is?
Gold card.
It's the gold card. The Trump card, gold card.
Who's the first buyer?
Me.
Who's the second?
That just happened, and leftist heads are exploding right now. There's another one. There's another one. Trump's on Air Force One. He's heading back to Florida. The press is there. He talks to the press, and he holds up the gold card. $5 million. It could be yours. He calls it, and it's his picture's on it. The Trump gold card. He said it was the first buyer. He said, me, I'm the first. Oh, no.
Drew's Top 5.
Big D, it's a gold card, and he's holding up, and it's it's the $5 million Trump card, and it's got his face on it, and it looks like he's holding it, and if I'm not mistaken, let me just zoom in on this. Oh, I wish it. Yes. Okay, you ready for this, D? The picture on the Trump gold card, the $5 million gold card, is his mugshot. It's the mugshot.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Look, you got two schools of thought on this. You're either like, oh, my goodness, this is horrible, it's terrible, there's Trump, fill in the blank, or it's the ultimate troll. It's like, I thought the mugshot looked pretty good. Let's put it on the $5 million gold card. Oh, wow. So there he was. Just so good. Hey, I want to go back to something else quickly, because I know that it's hard to, the tariff thing and obviously what has happened with the markets, and sometimes it's hard to follow, and people start talking about the economy, and they talk about numbers with Wall Street, and they talk about tariffs, and people it just puts you to sleep. Like, it's just okay, let's talk about something else. But I did want to mention this. As Howard Lutnick was being questioned by the anchor there on CNN when she says
that in a few days we're about to see prices go up at the grocery store. What do you say to those Americans?
I don't think that's going to happen.
You don't
the reason
think,
it's going to happen,
it won't happen?
watch. No one can guarantee anything. But
okay, nobody can guarantee. She's like, don't you think because this is going to happen, prices are going to go up? And he's like, I don't think that's going to happen. And she's basically like, well, what do you mean? Why do you think that's not going to happen? I could give you an example of maybe why someone might think that it won't happen. Because during the Biden administration, we had Janet Yellen, who was Treasury Secretary,
Who tells us the same thing?
As you have seen, there have been some experts, some groups, the National Retail Federation among them, who've expressed concerns that it will be U.S. consumers who eventually end up paying for these tariffs. As you know, polling shows that rising prices are voters' biggest concern right now. So I'd ask you to speak directly to them. Will American consumers bear the cost of these tariffs?
I don't believe that American consumers will see any meaningful increase in the prices that they face.
What? Hey, wait a minute. Janet Yellen said she doesn't think there's going to be any rise in prices that you're going to feel or notice. Wait a minute. Was she screaming at her too? Or was she saying, no, they're going to go up? I know this. But you don't. How come you didn't? So is anybody else confused? Because either somebody's lying, somebody's telling the truth. Or when somebody says something on the left, it's like, oh, whatever they say. We're on the same team. We're good. All right, same team. And when somebody on the right says something, it's like, oh, that's got to be bad. Even if it's good, no, that's bad. If it's right, no, it's wrong. If it's left, no, it's right. Right, wrong, right, left. You get what I'm saying. It was just like, wow. That just seemed crazy to me. But that's been out there. And look, what is going? I'm interested to see what the next few days are going to bring us. What's going to happen in the next couple of days as we start to see more and more of the discussion about tariffs, about what the left is going to say, and whether or not there's going to be a lot of rhetoric and vitriol. And just, okay, one more thing, and I promise I'll go. Charles Payne, Fox this morning on tariffs.
President Trump ran on tariffs. What we just saw was a president who did what he said he was going to do. Every single day, the media said Trump is running on tariffs, and people said, we know that. Trump is running on bringing back manufacturing. People said, we know that. And they went and pulled the lever for him. This is mind-boggling to me that the media is focused on pain. You know, listen to me.
We'll get to that later. I didn't want to get to the pain, but everybody understands what's happening here. We'll talk about that a little more coming up in just a bit. Do we have Belinda Kaiser with us right now? Kaiser University Vice Chancellor. Is she joining us right now here on Florida's Voice? There she is. All right. Forgive me. I got a little carried away on a rant there, and I apologize because I knew you were going to be here, and now you're here. Hey, it's good to see you. How is everything? Are you good?
Everything's well. Thank you for having me.
So what tell me more about what has been happening with Kaiser. You know what? We had a conversation about universities today and how there are schools and universities where it's such a wonderful thing because when you have students that graduate, you know, and they stay in the community, and it's great to hear how universities work in certain circumstances. And it's just great when you hear about some of the things that are going on and the importance of keeping people in community once they graduate. And I've heard such great things about Kaiser. But what else has been happening? What's been on your mind today?
Well, first of all, I really appreciate this question because I think you had an opportunity to speak with Bob Boyd. He's the president of the Independent Colleges and Universities of Florida.
Yeah.
So, Drew, we're blessed to live in the state of Florida. I think you agree. And I think in so many ways, Florida is a model for other states. And as the legislature has convened, there is a proposed budget language in the House that would take away a tuition voucher that Florida residents that attend private, independent, not-for-profit universities like Kaiser really depend on. And my concern is, look, we're one of the biggest producers. Kaiser is one of the biggest producers of nurses in the state of Florida. We love Florida. We were founded by a Florida family, and now we are really focused on some of the workforce shortages. If, in fact, the House does what it looks like it's going to do, 22,000 Florida residents will lose the opportunity for, and I believe may even not continue with their education if the Florida House takes away the EASE grant, which again applies to their tuition. why does this matter? I mean, most of our students work full-time jobs and they go to school, and
Right.
many of them have families.
Yep.
And they're good working Floridians. That's the challenge we're facing in the Florida House today.
Yeah. No doubt. Belinda, listen, I'm looking at the time. Do you have a chance to hold on? Can you hold on a couple of minutes through the break? Because I'd love to have you back, because I got carried away with a rant. And so I took away from your time, and I feel like I want to have you stay through the break, because I want to talk a little bit more about this, because it really is that important. And even to go back to the discussion that we were having before, because to me, that is something that I've heard so much about with regard to certain universities and schools and Kaiser in particular, and how awesome it is in the community and the people that are in the community and the hardworking people that are going to the university, like you just mentioned. So I'm just going to put you on hold for just a second. Stay right there. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we'll have this discussion. We'll continue with Belinda Kaiser, and we'll talk about this, because what is going on right now with the legislature, we need to check this out, recognize what's happening, keep an eye on this story. And if you're wondering exactly what's going on, we'll refresh your memory coming up in just a second. Stay with us. It's Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com, with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/olderadults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council. Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/olderadults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move. when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, just a reminder, anytime you want to watch the program at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble X, and Facebook, anytime you want to call, we'd love to hear from you, 866-588-8303. All right, let's do this right now. Let's bring back Belinda Kaiser, Kaiser University Vice Chancellor, who's joining us right now on Florida's Voice. Pretty important topic that we are discussing right now. And we had this conversation a little earlier. And I guess the House is in their budget talking about some cuts that they are thinking about doing. And one of them has to do with the EASE funding. And Belinda, just for people that don't know, what is that and how does that affect you?
So thank you again, Drew. This is the EASE grant was started, I believe it was 1979, and that was to support choice for those students who decided to attend a private, independent, not-for-profit university because it met their needs. And it was really to allow students the option. So one of the things that I'm always proud to support is choice, because when you look at the growth of Florida, and Florida is a model for other states, at 800 people coming in a day, we need really strong talent. So that's what independent colleges and universities of Florida do. And this EASE grant is the vehicle for providing that option and an environment, an educational environment to help them achieve their degree.
And you were talking, and you were talking about this before, the amount of students who could possibly be affected by this. What's the number we're talking about?
22,000.
Wow, 22,000. And again, this is for a program that's been around for decades. And, you know, I never heard anyone who ever mentioned anything like this when it comes to this issue. And again, one thing you brought up that I think is so important as we discuss the state of Florida, one of the things that we do here that is incredible is education and school choice and the ability to have all different kinds of choices. And it's important that independent colleges and universities still are able to stand strong in what they provide to the community. And maybe for people even that don't know a lot about Kaiser, maybe you can explain a little bit about what you do there at the university.
So Kaiser University has been around for about 50 years. And a lot of the independent colleges in the University of Florida have been around even longer than we have. And of those 30 independent colleges, 15 of those colleges will no longer be eligible for EASE. It's really surprising because to me, talent development is absolutely essential because we serve not only the community, as you pointed out, but what you say, the greater community are our employers. So to tell you a little bit about Kaiser, let me start with our students. So we have 20,000 students, Drew. As I said earlier, most of them work full-time. Many of them have children. A lot of them have already attended either another state college or a state university system. And because Kaiser offers 2-year, 4 years, master's, PhDs, they have the option of going all the way through our system. What I believe makes a difference is that they have a choice to really pick that environment that really meets the needs their most. You asked me about us. We started a long time ago, and we learned that employers will tell you what is needed, right?
Yeah, sure.
So big hospital, doctors' practices, we work very closely with the healthcare community. And so as a result, in 6 years, we've produced 7,200 RNs, and those are just baccalaureate degree nurses. But again, we're not alone. And so although I do understand that the House wants to save money, when you talk about talent, in my book, that's one of the best investments you can make. And so one of the concerns I have...
Well, we'll stay there. Belinda, forgive me. We're up against a hard break, and we've got to run right now. But listen, I do appreciate you joining us today. We're going to have you back soon, and we'll talk more about this and keep an eye on this. Okay. Thanks so much, Belinda. We appreciate you.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.